Since the partition of British India in 1947 and creation of modern states of India and Pakistan, the two South Asian countries have been involved in 4 wars, including one undeclared war, and many border skirmishes and military standoffs. Most of these wars and conflict have ended with defeat or disaster for Pakistan. The Kashmir issue has been the main cause of all major conflicts between the two countries, with the exception of the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, where conflict originated due to turmoil in erstwhile East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. Topic: Background. Topic: The partition of British India came about in the aftermath of World War II, when both Great Britain and British India were dealing with the economic stresses caused by the war and its demobilisation. It was the intention of those who wished for a Muslim state to come from British India to have a clean partition between independent and equal Pakistan and Hindustan. Once independence came, the partition itself, according to leading politicians such as Muhammad Ali Jinnah, leader of the All India Muslim League, and Jawaharlal Nehru, leader of the Indian National Congress, should have resulted in peaceful relations. As the Hindu and Muslim populations were scattered unevenly in the whole country, the partition of British India into India and Pakistan in 1947 was not possible along religious lines. Nearly 1/3 of the Muslim population of British India remained in India. Inter-communal violence between Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims resulted in between 500,000 and 1 million casualties. Princely ruled territories, such as Kashmir and Hyderabad, were also involved in the partition. Rulers of these territories had the choice of joining India or Pakistan. Wars. Indo-Pakistani War of 1947. The war, also called the First Kashmir War, started in October 1947 when Pakistan feared that the Maharaja of the princely state of Kashmir and Jammu would accede to India. Following partition, princely states were left to choose whether to join India or Pakistan or to remain independent. Jammu and Kashmir, the largest of the princely states, had a majority Muslim population and significant fraction of Hindu population, all ruled by the Hindu Maharaja Hari Singh. Tribal Islamic forces with support from the Army of Pakistan attacked and occupied parts of the princely state, forcing the Maharaja to sign the instrument of accession of the princely state to the Dominion of India to receive Indian military aid. The UN Security Council passed Resolution 47 on the 22nd of April 1948. The front solidified gradually along what came to be known as the Line of Control. A formal ceasefire was declared at 23:59 on the night of 1 January 1949. India gained control of about 2/3 of the state, Kashmir Valley, Jammu and Ladakh, whereas Pakistan gained roughly a third of Kashmir, Azad Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. The Pakistan-controlled areas are collectively referred to as Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Indo-Pakistani War of 1965. This war started following Pakistan's Operation Gibraltar, which was designed to infiltrate forces into Jammu and Kashmir to precipitate an insurgency against rule by India. India retaliated by launching a full-scale military attack on West Pakistan. The 17-day war caused thousands of casualties on both sides and witnessed the largest engagement of armoured vehicles and the largest tank battle since World War II. The hostilities between the two countries ended after a ceasefire was declared following diplomatic intervention by the Soviet Union and USA and the subsequent issuance of the Tashkent Declaration. India had the upper hand over Pakistan when the ceasefire was declared. Indo-Pakistani War of 1971. This war was unique in the way that it did not involve the issue of Kashmir, but was rather precipitated by the crisis created by the political battle brewing in erstwhile East Pakistan between Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, leader of East Pakistan, and Yahya Khan and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, leaders of West Pakistan. This would culminate in the declaration of independence of Bangladesh from the state system of Pakistan. Following Operation Searchlight and the 1971 Bangladesh atrocities, about 10 million Bengalis in East Pakistan took refuge in neighbouring India. India intervened in the ongoing Bangladesh liberation movement. After a large-scale pre-emptive strike by Pakistan, full-scale hostilities between the two countries commenced. Pakistan attacked at several places along India's western border with Pakistan, but the Indian Army successfully held their positions. The Indian Army quickly responded to the Pakistan Army's movements in the west and made some initial gains, including capturing around 5,795 square miles (15,010 square kilometers) of Pakistan territory, land gained by India in Pakistani Kashmir, Pakistani Punjab and Sindh sectors, but gifted it back to Pakistan in the Simla Agreement of 1972, as a gesture of goodwill. Within 2 weeks of intense fighting, Pakistani forces in East Pakistan surrendered to the joint command of Indian and Bangladeshi forces, following which the People's Republic of Bangladesh was created. This war saw the highest number of casualties in any of the India-Pakistan conflicts, as well as the largest number of prisoners of war since the Second World War, after the surrender of more than 90,000 Pakistani military and civilians. In the words of one Pakistani author, "Pakistan lost half its navy, a quarter of its air force and a third of its army." Indo-Pakistani War of 1999. Commonly known as the Kargil War, this conflict between the two countries was mostly limited. During early 1999, Pakistani troops infiltrated across the Line of Control and occupied Indian territory mostly in the Kargil district. India responded by launching a major military and diplomatic offensive to drive out the Pakistani infiltrators. 2 months into the conflict, Indian troops had slowly retaken most of the ridges that were encroached by the infiltrators. According to official count, an estimated 75% to 80% of the intruded area and nearly all high ground was back under Indian control. Fearing large-scale escalation in military conflict, the international community, led by the United States, increased diplomatic pressure on Pakistan to withdraw forces from remaining Indian territory. Faced with the possibility of international isolation, the already fragile Pakistani economy was weakened further. The morale of Pakistani forces after the withdrawal declined as many units of the Northern Light Infantry suffered heavy casualties. The government refused to accept the dead bodies of many officers, an issue that provoked outrage and protests in the northern areas. Pakistan initially did not acknowledge many of its casualties, but Nawaz Sharif later said that over 4,000 Pakistani troops were killed in the operation and that Pakistan had lost the conflict. By the end of July 1999, organized hostilities in the Kargil district had ceased. The war was a major military defeat for the Pakistani army. Other armed engagements. Apart from the aforementioned wars, there have been skirmishes between the two nations from time to time. Some have bordered on all-out war, while others were limited in scope. The countries were expected to fight each other in 1955 after warlike posturing on both sides, but full-scale war did not break out. Standing armed conflicts. Insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. An insurgency in Kashmir has been a cause for heightened tensions. India has also accused Pakistan-backed militant groups of executing several terrorist attacks across India. Siachen conflict. In 1984, India launched Operation Meghdoot, capturing all of the Siachen Glacier. Further clashes erupted in the glacial area in 1985, 1987 and 1995 as Pakistan sought, without success, to oust India from its stronghold. Sur Creek. The dispute lies in the interpretation of the maritime boundary line between Kutch and Sindh. Before India's independence, the provincial region was a part of Bombay Presidency of British India. After India's independence in 1947, Sindh became a part of Pakistan while Kutch became a part of India. Pakistan lays claim to the entire creek as per Paris 9 and 10 of the Bombay Government Resolution of 1914 signed between the then Government of Sindh and Rao Maharaj of Kutch. India-Pakistan maritime trespassing, frequent trespassing and violation of respective national territorial waters of India and Pakistan in peacetime occurs commonly by Pakistani and Indian fishermen operating along the coastline of the Indian state of Gujarat and the Pakistani province of Sindh. Most violations occur due to the absence of a physical boundary and lack of navigational tools for small fishermen. Hundreds of fishermen are arrested by the coast guards of both nations, but obtaining their release is difficult and long-winded owing to the hostile relations between the two nations. Past skirmishes and standoffs. Indian integration of Junagadh, the princely state of Junagadh, which had a Hindu majority and a Muslim ruler, acceded to Pakistan on 15 September 1947, claiming a connection by sea. Pakistan's acceptance of the instrument of accession was seen as a strategy to get a plebiscite held in Kashmir which had a Muslim majority and a Hindu ruler. Following communal tensions, Indian military entered the territory, which was protested by Pakistan as a violation of international law. Later a plebiscite was held and the accession was reversed for the state to join India. Operation Brasstacks, the largest of its kind in South Asia, conducted by India between November 1986 and March 1987, and Pakistani mobilization in response, raised tensions and fears that it could lead to another war between the two neighbours. 2001–2002 India–Pakistan standoff, the terrorist attack on the Indian Parliament on 13 December 2001, which India blamed on the Pakistan-based terrorist organisations, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, prompted the 2001–2002 India–Pakistan standoff and brought both sides close to war. 2008 India–Pakistan standoff, a standoff between the two nations following the 2008 Mumbai attacks which was diffused by diplomatic efforts. Following 10 coordinated shooting and bombing attacks across Mumbai, India's largest city, tensions heightened between the two countries since India claimed interrogation results alleging Pakistan's ISI supporting the attackers while Pakistan denied it. Pakistan placed its air force on alert and moved troops to the Indian border, voicing concerns about proactive movements of the Indian Army and the Indian government's possible plans to launch attacks on Pakistani soil. The tension diffused in short time and Pakistan moved its troops away from border. 2016 India–Pakistan military confrontation. On 18 September 2016, militants attacked the Indian Army's brigade headquarters at Uri, killing 19 soldiers. The attack came after 2 months of extreme unrest in Kashmir, caused due to the killing of Hizbul Mujahideen commander Burhan Wani in an encounter with Indian security forces. Amid high tensions and risk of escalation along the line of control, 10 days after the attack, on 29 September 2016, the Indian Army carried out a military raid in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, targeting launchpads along the Lak, the de facto border between India and Pakistan. An Indian soldier was captured by the Pakistan Army the very next day, but it was claimed that he had inadvertently crossed the border and that his capture was unrelated to the surgical strikes conducted the night before. The soldier was eventually released as a goodwill gesture from the Pakistani side, and ceasefire violations stopped on either side as tensions were diffused and normalcy returned to the Kashmir Valley. Incidents. Atlantique Incident. Pakistan Navy's Naval Air Arm Brigade Atlantique patrol plane, carrying 16 people on board, was shot down by the Indian Air Force for alleged violation of airspace. The episode took place in the Rann of Kutch on 10 August 1999, just a month after the Kargil War, creating a tense atmosphere between India and Pakistan. Foreign diplomats noted that the plane fell inside Pakistani territory, although it may have crossed the border. However, they also believe that India's reaction was unjustified. Pakistan later lodged a compensation claim at the International Court of Justice, accusing India for the incident, but the court dismissed the case in a split decision ruling the court did not have jurisdiction. The 2011 India–Pakistan border shooting incident took place between 30 August and 1 September 2011 across the line of control in Kupwara district, Neelam Valley, resulting in 5 Indian soldiers and 3 Pakistani soldiers being killed. Both countries gave different accounts of the incident, each accusing the other of initiating the hostilities. 2013 India–Pakistan border incident in the Mendar sector of Jammu and Kashmir, due to the beheading of an Indian soldier. A total of 22 soldiers, 12 Indian and 10 Pakistani, died. 2014–16 India–Pakistan border skirmishes in Arnia sector of Jammu and Kashmir due to killing of one soldier of border security force and injured 3 soldiers and 4 civilians by Pakistan Rangers. Nuclear arms Rasatopic The nuclear conflict between both countries is of passive strategic nature with nuclear doctrine of Pakistan stating a first strike policy, although the strike would only be initiated if and only if, the Pakistan armed forces are unable to halt an invasion as for example in 1971 war or a nuclear strike is launched against Pakistan, whereas India has a declared policy of no first use. Pokhran I Smiling Buddha. On 18 May 1974 India detonated an 8-kiloton nuclear device at Pokhran Test Range, becoming the first nation to become nuclear capable outside the 5 permanent members of United Nations Security Council as well as dragging Pakistan along with it into a nuclear arms race with the Pakistani Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto swearing to reciprocate India quoting, "My countrymen would prefer having a nuclear bomb even if they have to eat grass." The Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission (PAEC) chairman Munir Ahmed Khan said that the test would force Pakistan to test its own nuclear bomb. Khurana I. In 1980s a series of 24 different cold tests were conducted by PAEC, led by chairman Munir Ahmad Khan under extreme secrecy. The tunnels at Khurana Hills, Sargodha, are reported to have been bored after the Chagai nuclear test sites. It is widely believed that the tunnels were constructed sometime between 1979 and 1983. As in Chagai, the tunnels at Khurana Hills had been bored and then sealed, and this task was also undertaken by PAEC's DTD. Later, due to excessive U.S. intelligence and satellite focus on the Khurana Hills site, it was abandoned and nuclear weapons testing was shifted to the Kala Chitta range. Pokhran II Operation Shakti. On the 11th of May 1998 India detonated another 5 nuclear devices at Pokhran Test Range. With jubilation and large-scale approval from the Indian society came international sanctions as a reaction to this test, the most vehement reaction of all coming from Pakistan. Great ire was raised in Pakistan, which issued a stern statement claiming that India was instigating a nuclear arms race in the region. Pakistan vowed to match India's nuclear capability with statements like, "We are in a headlong arms race on the subcontinent." Chagai I, Takbir. Within half a month of Pokhran II, on 28 May 1998 Pakistan detonated 5 nuclear devices to reciprocate India in the nuclear arms race. Pakistani public, like the Indian, reacted with a celebration and heightened sense of nationalism for responding to India in kind and becoming the only Muslim nuclear power. The day was later given the title Takbir to further proclaim such. Chagai II. 2 days later, on 30 May 1998, Pakistan detonated a 6th nuclear device completing its own series of underground tests, with this being the last the two nations have carried out to date. Annual celebrations. The 28th of May since 1998 as Takbir, the Day of Greatness in Pakistan. The 26th of July since 1999 as Kargil Vijay Divas, Kargil Victory Day in India. The 6th of September since 1965 as Defence Day in Pakistan. The 7th of September since 1965 as Air Force Day in Pakistan. The 8th of September since 1965 as Victory Day, Navy Day in Pakistan. The 4th of December since 1971 as Navy Day in India. The 16th of December since 1971 as Vijay Divas, Victory Day in India. The 16th of December since 1971 as Bijoy Dibosh, Victory Day in Bangladesh. Topic: Involvement of other nations. Topic: Soviet Union. The USSR remained neutral during the 1965 war and played a pivotal role in negotiating the peace agreement between India and Pakistan. The Soviet Union provided diplomatic and military assistance to India during the 1971 war. In response to the US and UK's deployment of the aircraft carriers USS Enterprise and HMS Eagle, Moscow sent nuclear submarines and warships with anti-ship missiles in the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean, respectively. United States. The U.S. had not given any military aid to Pakistan in the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965. The United States provided diplomatic and military support to Pakistan during the 1971 war by sending USS Enterprise into the Indian Ocean. The United States did not support Pakistan during the Kargil War, and successfully pressured the Pakistani government to end hostilities. China had helped Pakistan in various wars with diplomatic support. Russia maintained a non-belligerent policy for both sides. Russia helped negotiate peace in 2001–02 and helped divert the 2008 crisis. In popular culture. These wars have provided source material for both Indian and Pakistani film and television dramatists, who have adapted events of the war for the purposes of drama and to please target audiences in their nations. Indian films. Hindustan Ki Kasam, a 1973 Hindi war film based on Operation Cactus Lily of the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War, directed by Chetan Anand. Akraman, a 1975 Hindi war film based on the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, directed by J. Om Prakash. Viheta, a 1982 Hindi film based on the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, produced by Shashi Kapoor and directed by Govind Nihalani. Param Veer Chakra, a 1995 Hindi film based on Indo-Pakistani War, directed by Ashok Kaul. Border, a 1997 Hindi war film based on the Battle of Longewala of the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, directed by J. P. Dutta. Lak Kargil, a 2003 Hindi war film based on the Kargil War, directed by J. P. Dutta. Diwar, a 2004 Hindi film starring Amitabh Bachchan based on the POW of the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, directed by Milan Luthria. Lakshya, a 2004 Hindi film partially based on the events of the Kargil War, directed by foreign actor. 1971, 2007 Hindi war film based on a true story of prisoners of war after the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, directed by Amrit Sagar. Kurukshetra, a 2008 Malayalam film starring Mohanlal based on Kargil War, directed by Major Ravi. Tango Charlie, a 2005 Hindi film starring Ajay Devgan, and Bobby Deol based on Kargil conflict, directed by Mani Shankar. The Ghazi Attack, a 2017 Hindi film based on sinking of PNS Ghazi. 1971, Beyond Borders, a 2017 Malayalam film, directed by Major Ravi. Razi, a 2018 Hindi film about an Indian spy during the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, directed by Meghna Gulzar. Pakistani films, miniseries and dramas. Angar Wadi, an Urdu drama serial based on the Kashmir conflict, directed by Rauf Khalid. Laag, an Urdu drama serial based on the Kashmir conflict, directed by Rauf Khalid. PNS Ghazi Shahid, an Urdu drama based on sinking of PNS Ghazi, ISPR. Alpha Bravo Charlie, an Urdu drama serial based on three different aspects of Pakistan Army's involvement in action, directed by Shoaib Mansoor. Sipahi Makbul Hussain, an Urdu drama serial based on a 1965 war POW, directed by Haider Imam Rizvi. See also United Nations Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan, India–Pakistan relations, Two-nation theory, patriotic hacking, List of wars involving India, List of wars involving Pakistan. References. Bibliography. External links. Nuclear Proliferation in India and Pakistan from the Dean Peter Krogh Foreign Affairs Digital Archives.